Want to win money on sports? With Underdog, you can win up to 1,000 times your cash just by picking higher or lower on your favorite players' stats. Millions of fans have won billions of dollars on Underdog. Will you be next? Download the Underdog app and sign up to get a free pick with your first cash entry up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you deposit. Must be 18 plus, 19 plus in Alabama, Nebraska, 19 plus in Colorado for some games, 21 plus in Massachusetts and Arizona, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Void in Colorado. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. Arizona, 1-800-NEXT-STEP, 1-800-639-8783, or text NEXT STEP to 53342. New York, call the 24/7 HOPE line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369.
Hashtag no music, no intro. Another episode of the Saints Block Party podcast. Ryan and I just, got back from New Orleans. I got back on Monday. This is the Saints Browns preview pod. So we are going to be discussing the upcoming game 2 of the Darren Rizzi interim head coach era for the Saints. But before we kind of talk about that, we just go back a little bit. What an incredible weekend, man. What just an incredible weekend. Just being together with our people from all over the U.S. Shout out to Alberto, was there from Amsterdam. If you're watching this on YouTube, like, subscribe.
Please.
There is not a better time to become part of this community, whether you go to patreon.com/Saints Block Party. You can become a YouTube member through, YouTube membership, which starts at $4.99. The chat's kind of getting going a little bit. It was great, man. And, I don't talk about a whole bunch of personal things here on this podcast because no one, wants to hear me talk about personal stuff. But I said it at the meetup on Saturday night. Like, this year has been probably, including the year my mom passed away, probably the most trying years of my entire life. For numerous reasons. But to be in New Orleans with the community, with the group, watch the Saints beat the Falcons, because if you don't know, now you know. We don't lose meetup games. We don't lose them. Period. It's a weekend. It's a weekend. It's a week, however you want to call it, that I'll truly, truly cherish. That we all got to experience that together.
And it just gets better and better, man. Like every meetup, it's like, man, I don't see how we could top it. And then the next one is just better. Like cause this one was just the best, bro. Like the people we got to meet, a lot of people that's been part of our community for a while. First time coming, like Bayou, Paul, and those guys. Dante coming down. Just Alberto, he just like me being a New Orleanian, like I love seeing people from out of town come and just enjoy the city and enjoy themselves. Yes. So seeing Paul enjoy himself, seeing Alberto come from Holland, and just have a blast, seeing Bayou at the football game, just enjoying it, in the dome. We not caring that it's a 2-win season or none of that. We just lit. We screaming on third down. We celebrating the big plays. We going crazy when, the ref makes a bad call or whatever. It was just lit, man. We couldn't have it. Like, it was the perfect game for that to happen, man. Like, you got Rizzi first game. He's going against the Falcons. We hate the Falcons. Falcon fans was in there talking shit. It was a rainy day. You just felt out. You was out chill. So like it was just, man.
It was so fitting because shout out to TC said that my hat's fitted. I want to give a shout out to our dude Dash. Dash posted it in our Discord that he got it at the Saints Team Pro Shop. I said I have to have that. Sure enough, went to the Saints Team Pro Shop and got it. Shout out to
busting.
Much love to fucking Dash, bro. Like, all I'm going to say is much love to Dash. If you know, you know. us being in Cats Be on Friday. Finally got Ryan on the stage. To do karaoke. Oh man.
Bro, Bree, my wife can watch that more than anybody. She just watch that shit because I don't step out the box much. She just couldn't believe that was me up there. She couldn't believe it. She couldn't.
And that's what this community is about, is making those moments, man. Like I say it all the time. I am at almost a ripe age of 37, soon to be, and I've had a lot of loss in life. And the biggest thing my biggest takeaway is you gotta make moments with the people and family that you care about, because that's what this is all about, man. Like the material. Pammy Whammy said, "What did Ryan sing?" We not Ryan. All of us saying Britney Spears, "Hit Me Baby One More Time." Das was so lit when he was walking back to the hotel in his video. He said, "Hit me with your best shot." My man was gone, Ryan. My man was gone. Ken Foot said, I think Juno says it best. It's more than just a game.
Shout out to Juno, bro. Shout out to Juno, man.
Anyway, but like you said, it was a perfect game, because what has been our number one focus these last 2.5 years, getting DA out the paint, get him fired, get him out the paint. So for that to be the first game that the Saints had after he got fired, like you couldn't have scripted it better, Ryan. You couldn't have
scripted, bro. Like you just tell me that. Just come on, man. Like something's going on here. Like it was crazy. It was crazy.
Dante said got to see AK break all the all-time team rushing record.
Come on, man. Come on, man. Get called, getting made captain that week.
Your team cap when they announced him. Your team captain.
Your team captain. Boy, I got chills, boy. I got chills. You come in. Man, look. At that moment, I did not care that it was a 2-win team, that this team ain't going nowhere. I didn't care. Like that's the beauty of football. That's the beauty of fandom. Even though we talked about disconnected and all that, we still disconnected our emotions. Man, we still can have fun, bro. Like we still can have fun in that moment. That's the beautiful thing about it.
Bro, when AK, Dante can attest to this in the chat. When AK dropped that pass, I hugged Dante, bro. I was like, oh no,
bro.
No,
I was just like,
no.
Because it would have been just the perfect moment.
Perfect bow. Our dude Scotty said, if only I was there. I mean, you'll be out the next one, Scotty. We know you will. We know you.
Start putting the ducats to the side, bro. Just start right now. Just put $20 a week.
It's gonna be end of October, beginning of November next year, the same time, because we try to avoid the New Orleans humidity and the heat. That's why we schedule it like that.
Well, good luck.
Right? Oh my God, we'll talk about. Can we talk about Friday? People were like legit concerned how much I was sweating on Friday. Like they were afraid.
You could squeeze the brim of Adam hat and it's dripping. Like I'm like, damn, my boy be sweating, boy. And I'm a sweater. My boy be sweating, boy.
When we were walking. When y'all was behind us, we were walking in to get inside the Cats Meow the second time, because we had already gotten in. So we were going there a second time because I was coming out to look for y'all. And I'm in line, and this dude behind me is like, white dude, why are you sweating so much?
Fuck out my face, man.
Nigga, because I sweat. Like, what the fuck you mean why I sweat so, like, no, because I was hot, Ryan. I was hot. TC said, "Oh shit, I sweat just as bad." Listen, no one has a sweat game on lock like I do. I believe me, it does not exist. It doesn't exist. Something that we are excited about. We'll see. Hopefully, it plays out the way we wanted to. But Ryan and I really, really want to get back to the Senior Bowl next year. We went to our first Senior Bowl in 2021. With everything happening with the Saints, with them maybe having a top 10-ish pick, with our camera equipment, Wayne said, I don't know, I might got you in the sweat. No, Wayne, you don't. With the camera equipment, we want to be able to give y'all great content covering the Senior Bowl, like we did in 2021, but we've even upgraded since then. So be on the lookout for that. Hopefully we can get that confirmation and get those credentials again. We should know that in December if we get the credentials or not. So that's something to be on the lookout for. And if the Saints have a top 10 pick, I'll even say top 11 pick. We were originally not going to do a draft meetup in New Orleans in April as we watched the draft together and what have you. However, Ryan and I have decided if the Saints end up with a top 10 pick, top 11 pick, we will be having the draft meetup in New Orleans in April. Bajan said sweat off Wayne versus Adam. Pause? Maybe? Maybe? Pammy Wayman said, Negro, back your ass up. I'm going through menopause. Adam, I feel you. I almost threw hands in that motherfucker behind. Oh, I swear to God. Anyway, let's talk about the game on Sunday. The Saints have what is that? Am I tripping? They essentially have like a 3-game homestand, right? Because who they have after the Browns? It's the bye, right?
Bye week.
And then it's the Rams game, I believe, if I remember correctly. So this is a chance, and I know people feel certain ways of they want the Saints to win, they don't want the Saints to win because of draft positioning. You have Jameis Winston making his return back to New Orleans. You have a Browns team that has been like downtrodden most of the season. I need to look and see where they're picking right now in the draft, and it's an opportunity. So right now the Browns are picking 4th overall in the draft. So you have an opportunity to win your 4th game of the season. What are you thinking going into this game for the Saints and the Browns?
Oh man, I just the question is, can Rizzi keep it up? Can he keep it up? He got the interim HC vibe check, boost, whatever you want to call it. You saw the energy from the team, you saw the passion. You saw you saw just how they played with passion and emotion, as Sean Payton used to say, and I think it helped them win. Can they sustain that? Does that just kind of wear off? And look, at the end of the day, Saints just not that good. Just from a talent perspective. MVS is your number 1 wide receiver right now. The boy was not on the team 2-3 weeks ago, bro. So. It's not a very good team. So, but look, the Browns aren't either. You know what I'm saying? You got Jameis Winston at quarterback. We know Jameis going to spin the ball. Look, they beat the Ravens a couple weeks ago, kind of shocked everybody. Then they kind of came back to earth against the Chargers, I believe.
Yep.
And then they're coming off a bye week. We'll see how that goes. Some teams come off the bye week looking great. Some teams come off the bye week and lose 3 in a row like the Bears. So you just never know. So we'll see. But look, it's still a good defense. I think the Browns defense is still good this year. Myles Garrett, I think, has 8 sacks on the season. Zadarius Smith was playing well, and he got traded to the Lions. They traded Amari Cooper. So it's Cedric Tillman and Njoku and Jerry Jeudy.
Yep.
Yeah, but really Cedric Tillman been the guy that's been stepping up the past couple of weeks with Jameis Winston. So I think you see maybe you get a Lante on him. It's going to be an interesting game. It's a game the Saints can win, but as we've seen with this team, they could easily lose. But look, Eric McCoy is looking like he's going to be back this week. Huge piece of the puzzle, because now you have your starting offensive line in place. Yours. But week 1 and week 2.
Not Lucas Patrick.
Well, no Lucas Patrick. You're right. I forgot he got hurt. But basically, mostly starting offensive line.
4 or 5. Yeah.
And Eric McCoy is just such an essential piece to the puzzle. he's probably going to be a little rusty. So, it wouldn't be surprised if, he doesn't play a perfect game, anything like that. But just the knowledge, the knowledge that he brings, the understanding, it's just going to help immensely. But like I said, it's not a very talented offense. Like, we have a one-trick pony. His name is Alvin Kamara. One of the few things that works is the deep ball from Derek Carr. And if that's not connecting, there's really not much else. So I think it's going to be just a tight game. And look, whether the Saints should win or shouldn't win and all that, it's out of our control, bro. Like, we can't control that. I mean, look, of course we want them to have a high pick. We would love that. And I think the way this team is set up, we won't have to want that. It's just kind of going to happen organically, But maybe not this week. I think they might pull another win, but we'll get to that later.
Yeah, it's a tricky game because, in theory, that the Browns defense should be, in theory, good. It's talented, right?
Yeah.
It has the pieces of being talented. You have, like you said, you have Myles Garrett. You have, I'm looking at their depth chart right now. Denzel Ward, who, is one of the better corners in the league. They got Grant Delpit at safety from LSU. Juan Thornhill, Greg Newsome, who you liked in the draft when he came out of, was it TCU?
I think so. I think it was TCU.
Northwestern. I knew it was one of those. Yeah. And he's played well as a pro. It's my concern going into this game as a Saints fan is this Browns team has more talent defensively than the Falcons team that they played on Sunday. Now, does that talent come in and do their job? Story to be seen. The other big thing that worries me about this game is the Saints have been awful at stopping the run. Awful.
Consistently awful.
And now you're going to go against a Browns team that has Nick Chubb. Yes, he's coming off the injury, but he is playing. You have Jerome Ford, who has played well in spots when Nick Chubb wasn't playing. So all the beats of the Saints not winning are there. They're not a good team stopping the run. They don't really have any wide receivers right now that outside of MVS, but can they just be better than the Browns on Sunday? That's what and I would think in a vacuum, you would say Kevin Stefanski is a better head coach because this is only Darren Rizzi's second game, but I also think it goes to show how much just having a coach that is accountable and is into the details matter. It may not win you every game, if you don't got but it just puts you in a position and a place where you potentially are in a better place to win.
Right. It's all on the margins. Just those little edge cases. It just might help you just a little bit, whether that's a block punt, whether that's going for it or not going for it, or calling a challenge or whatever. Just those little small cases that just might put you right on the edge of making a play to win. And I think that's where we're at now. But look, the Saints, the defense, the Browns won't have to do much to slow down the Saints. We saw, against the Falcons, the Saints offense did start off hot, and then it just didn't really do much in the second half. So it's one of those things where if the Saints can't really get a couple of big plays going, dialed up, and and they can't get Alvin Kamara really going, it's okay, what else do we got? What else do we got? So I would like to, if they're going to win, I think they need something else in the passing game to step up, whether that's tight end usage or something, man, because it's just not good enough right now. And I think, look, Myles Garrett going against Fuaga. Look, Fuaga's been fine, but, he's been mostly up and down as a pass protector. So, look, Myles Garrett, he's just a different animal. He could wreck the shop. We know what Carr is. We know Carr is pressure. We know he can't handle pressure. Gonna be tough.
They need to have a plan for Myles Garrett.
Oh my God!
And Ken Foot said, "Any blitzer makes Carr shit." I'm sorry, that's not the thing I want to read. Does Clint know how to adjust? Has he ever had a good halftime adjustment? To be determined, because it just feels to be determined right now. Because one of the criticisms I had being at that Falcons game was at some point in the game it just became super reliant on AK in the run game. Like they stopped utilizing Taysom Hill in the run game. Jordan Mims, who had a couple of nice snaps, like 2 snaps where he got positive yardage and was giving AK a break. It, like they all just disappeared. So we need to see more. I'm a little. Can I say it? Like I'm over the Clint Kubiak experience a little bit. Like I'm over it, bro. I'm over it. I need something. I need something else. But to now in the season, we have to kind of work with what we have. TC with the $4.99 super chat. Much love. Appreciate you. Jameis can give us a couple of extra possessions. We just have to hope Carr doesn't do the same for them. Absolutely. Like Carr played a clean game against the Falcons. Didn't turn the ball over. That grounding penalty was just god awful. Almost could have got them beat by a better team, but they got lucky.
So shout out to Rizzi for mentioning. Shout out to Rizzi for mentioning that one of the pressers. Just mentioning that attempt, because that was terrible, bro. It was like,
awful.
But look, that's the thing about Derek Carr. But then he made one of the most prettiest passes to MVS for that touchdown, just beautiful.
Even the deep pass that was almost a touchdown that went out. I like one.
That too.
Beautiful ball.
And just out throwing the coverage. That's like, boy, you're a frustrated player.
So frustrated. And I said it, if you just cut up 5 or 6 snaps from Derek Carr's good games, not the other ones, just 5 to 6, you could put that on YouTube as a compilation and be like, oh, he got to be top 5, top 6 quarterback, right?
That's probably what DA been looking at when he was like,
you know it, bro. You know it. That's what we was looking at. But
me too.
Both of us. But at least to our credit, we saw it real quick. We was like, no.
To really understand the Carr experience, I think you have to be a fan of the team he's playing for.
Yes.
Because you really understand, he's not playing winning football. You know what I'm saying? You're going to get a pretty pass here and there, but he's not playing winning quarterback football, whatever that means to you. But when you see it, you know what it is. You know what I mean?
He's also, we talked about a little bit about the recap after the Falcons game at the Troubadour. He just carries a very unlikable personality, and I want to bring up the fact again because they're talking about it in the chat. Thanking DA after the Falcons game. It felt like a full circle moment to DA apologizing to the Falcons when they beat them last season. You're thinking the head coach that didn't ever go to the playoffs, the entire team after he got fired was just couldn't wait to tell reporters how unaccountable and how the practices weren't good and all that. Darren Rizzi and his pressure were saying it too, bro. So rather than thanking the interim head coach that led you to the win that day, you're on a 7-game win streak. You're going to give credit to the guy who's no longer there. I tweeted.
Just weird, bro.
Weird. It just felt very Titanic band just going down with the ship. Just why? And also,
why?
Dante said, DA built this. We love you, DA. The owner of the team doesn't love him. He got fired fired. What are you talking about?
Got fired by the owner of the team, bro. Got fired.
The players didn't like him. What are you talking about? No, you love him because he got you a job, and you getting paid very comfortably for it. What that could have been done in a text message. It just sends, and that's the whole Derek Carr experience. It's not just on the field; it's the shit off the field and everything else too that just has this like loser energy about it that comes with them. Like I want to be. Let me off this ride, Ryan. Just let me off the ride.
Please,
get me off of it, bro.
Get me off the Derek Carr ride. I don't care who it is. Don't care.
Okay.
Agenda, no agenda. I don't give a shit. Just get me off this ride.
What is Ryan Tannehill doing right now?
Please.
One thing that does really concern me about this game, and maybe it was more of a DA thing, or the DA scheme. Tight ends have been tearing the Saints new buttholes for like the last 2 seasons. 2.5 for a while. David Njoku, former draft bay, has been playing really well. Jameis at least in that Ravens game, has a great rapport with him. Who's covering David Njoku? One little subplot about this game: Joe Woods should to some degree be pretty familiar with the Kevin Stefanski offense. Vice versa, Kevin Stefanski should have some being familiar with the Joe Woods defense. So who knows that plays into anything or the matchups, but I need to know what the plan is going to be for David Njoku.
Oh yeah, no question. And look, they did okay against Kyle Pitts, but it's Kyle Pitts. He did catch that touchdown, which was a nice pass from Kirk Cousins. But look, I think Njoku gonna get his, man. I think he's the most targeted of their weapons right now for the Browns. And look, Jameis Winston gonna throw the ball, bro. Like at the end of the day, bro, he just gonna sling that thing, whether he throw it to his player or somebody else or one of our players. He gonna throw it. So Honey Badger gonna have to keep his eyes open, catch one. Want to see Alontae Taylor have a bounce back game. He had a rough game against the Falcons. 2 DPIs, a holding call. Got beat a couple times. Some of the ways he got beat was just like great passes from Kirk. Some was on him. I just want to see him have a bounce back game. He's a guy who was playing outstanding most of the year at nickel corner, but he always really in his heart wanted to be an outside corner. This is his chance to take it and run with it and be like CB1 for this team. So I just want to see him take it and run with it, bro. I want to see him shut down, whether they put him on Cedric Tillman, take him out the game. Whether Jerry Jeudy ain't, lighting nobody up, take him out the game. I want to see him just have like a good, solid game, not make many mistakes, not miss tackles, or not plays where he's not turning his head for the ball and getting called for a flag. Just give me a nice, clean game from Alontae, just for my personal. Because look, he's one of those players. When you're looking at the young core of this team, there's not a lot there, but Alontae potentially is one of those guys. So right. you want him to kind of be that, And I understand the first, last week, he's been about 2, maybe 3 weeks now. He's been playing outside corner, so I know it's going to take a little time. But man, come on, man, go ahead, get that, because looking at him, he looks like when you see him on the field, like, man, that's a big physical corner right there, boy.
I remember watching this. This was at the joint practice against the Chargers last season, before last season started. In wherever it was, Carson, I don't know, Costa Mesa, I don't know. And he was going 1-on-1, and at that time I think Quentin Johnson was like a rookie, so he was going against all the Chargers cornerback or wide receivers. With his size and how he moves, bruh, it don't make no sense. It doesn't make sense. So, and we've seen glimpses of it, but as all young players, it's all about that consistency. He has to just do it consistently to kind of take that next step, because I've said on this podcast, and I wasn't lying when I said it, like the team, and I don't know, when I say the team, I don't know who all on the team, but there were some people on the team, and I don't know if it's front office, I don't know if it's coaches, that had really soured on him as a player. Now, I think part of that was some of the immaturity that it seems like he's matured from. But he just has to do what he needs to do to kind of win the trust of the coaching staff. Let me catch up with the chat. Dante said, Joe Woods ran a lot of man coverage and single high safety last week. Going to be another test this week. Yes. Ken Foot, why did we go so far from man coverage? We ran so little of it until last week. Yeah, that's probably a reason why Marshawn Lattimore wanted to be traded last year, because he felt like he wasn't being utilized properly in the DA system. Oh wait, DA's not here anymore. Oh, okay. And they completely changed DA's pass rush scheme, and then last week they got 20 pressures. They did not feel like they got 20 pressures on the quarterback at all. I was at the game. It did not feel. I don't know how people are gauging pressures. That did not feel like 20 fucking pressures, bro. Not at all.
It did, man. But I did go back and rewatch a lot of the plays, and look, I did make Kurt uncomfortable quite a bit. But it just seemed like in the stands, it felt like he was just sitting back there chilling,
bro.
So just chilling. So, but look, the pass rush was a little better last week. We saw Cam Jordan get a little more active. He had 34 snaps, I believe, after playing 10 snaps versus the Panthers. They used him inside and outside more. You saw Chase Young get active. We saw Peyton Turner, get a sack fumble, So, maybe just rushing, because basically what they're doing now is they're just rushing the passer. Like, they're rushing straight up. They're not doing all of these little simulated pressures where, got 7 people on the line and, 3 people dropping out, trying to get one player isolated on another and all this stuff. They're just rushing the passer, with 4 down instead of 3 down, which DA loved to do on 3rd down, is rush 3 down linemen, which, if you got a bunch of stud pass rushers, yeah, sure, rushing 3 is fine, but it just drives me crazy. It reminds me of the Greg Williams days. He used to do that a lot, just rush 3 and then blitz Roman Harper, and Roman Harper would get blocked, and Matt Ryan would have all day to throw the ball. So it used to drive me crazy. So, it's interesting. It's interesting to see that these little changes. It's interesting to see coaches get unleashed and be they be in the background all the time. Like, man, this motherfucker dumb as hell. Man, I don't even know why he doing. Dumb. I wouldn't do that, but all right, coach. All right, run the zone coverage again. All right,
cool. We got one of the best cornerbacks in the league when healthy. Okay, we're just not going to use him on the team's best play. Okay, cool. TC said, maybe so, but Clint still hasn't shown how to adjust. With or without a good quarterback, you got to show us some ability to adapt and adjust, and I just haven't seen it. I'm over the Kubiak experience, to be honest. Completely over it. Yeah. I could kind of see why he was available to become offensive coordinator. I think Wayne asked if Kool-Aid is available for the game on Sunday against the Browns. So I listened to a little bit of the Rizzi presser while I was at work. He basically said McCoy, in terms of his injury, is closer than Kool-Aid, but Kool-Aid was a limited practice today. So my guess is by Friday, Kool-Aid's probably going to be questionable, and Sunday's going to be he's going to be a true game time decision, or whether he could go or not. Excuse me. I don't know if we do have a Cardinals fan in here. Cardinals equals the most talented offensive team in the NFL. I mean, I feel like that's a bit of a stretch, but I will say I don't think there is a player I have seen completely look like a completely different player than James Conner. The James Conner that was in Pittsburgh is not the same. He must have had a twin. That's not the same player, Ryan. It's not the same player.
He look good, bro. He looks good, man.
He looks like one of the better running backs in the league. Trey McBride, who I loved as a prospect coming out, he was a draft bay of mine at tight end. He looked even better than I thought he would be as a pro. He looks like Trey McBride's playing like one of the better tight ends in the league, and he played like that as a rookie last season too. You got Marvin Harrison, you got Kyler Murray. The Cardinals are exciting, and I just want to give some love. I want to give some love to Jonathan Gannon, bro. Jonathan Gannon took that job, and he was kind of seen, at least from what I heard, as well, they didn't get Sean Payton because they were kind of not. They were kind of fooling around with John. They didn't consummate the marriage, so they kind of settled for Jonathan Gannon. Also, they also chose Jonathan Gannon because he was the only head coach. See, this is what you get when you get SBP. Come here for Saint shit. You gonna put some Cardinal shit in the chat. I'm gonna give the news to you about what I know about the Cardinals. Anyway, we just keep the whole thing going. They hired Jonathan Gannon because he was the only head coach that they interviewed that was willing to not trade Kyler Murray at the time. Because every other coach basically was coming in and say, hey, if I'm coming in, if I potentially want to trade Kyler later, I want to know that ownership is going to be okay with that. Gannon was the only coach that said, I will stick it through with Kyler. Anyway.
But it also goes to show, just to circle it back to Saints, just don't know these coaches, bro. Like
coaches, bro.
Nobody was like, oh, Gannon, man, he's gonna turn his Arizona Cardinals around. Nobody was. Like,
the last time we
ran out of Philly, you know.
That's why. The last time we saw a Gannon defense in Philadelphia, he was getting deep dicked by the Chiefs in the Super Bowl.
Exactly. So you just don't know, man. Like you really don't know. And look, it's like we don't know if Gannon is going to be a great coach continuing going forward, but just what he's done with that Cardinals team,
impressive.
It's been impressive. It's been
impressive as hell, man. Impressive as hell. They are. This is what we tie this back always. What do we say about the Saints, bro? We want a fun football team to root for and to cheer for.
That's it.
Whether they win and lose it, which one? Cardinals are a perfect example. Are a fun football team. You got Kyler out there running around like he's stealing cookies and throwing bombs and deep passes to Marvin Harrison. Yep. You get James Conner that's just rucking chop. And the Cardinals' defensive line has been completely decimated with injuries. And Jonathan Gannon still coaching them up, and they getting pressures.
Pressures, bro.
That's what we want.
We saw that in the preseason. When it was like, what? I mean, damn, we was lighting up our offensive line, but we was like, man, the Cardinals ain't even got nobody. How they get nobody?
Here's a complete. This is gonna be a random question, and we'll wrap. We're not going super long on this one. Random for you. So getting to that point with Kyler, and I'm not comparing them as prospects at all. How you feel about Jalen Milroe? Sorry, excuse me.
Bro, ask me about draft picks, bro. I don't know, man.
Yes, I am.
I watched a little bit of him, man. Look, he looks interesting to me. I mean, is he a Kyler type of player? I don't know.
No, I wouldn't say that.
I mean, what do you think about it? Like, what are his major attributes?
His speed, and I know when you start talking quarterback, like the first thing you bring up is speed is probably not the most thing you want to hear, but his speed is legit serious. Like he would come into the league, would be already in terms style of runner with his how fast he probably is, that of around Lamar, and Jaden Daniels. Like he is extremely fast. I keep comparing him to. I feel like he's a better, more polished version of Jalen Hurts was when he was coming out of school. I think if you're going to draft a Jalen Milroe, not like this is not the case for all quarterbacks, but it's going to be you're drafting him. You have to have a vision. You have to have a plan offensively of what the offense is going to look like if he is your quarterback. I will give the Eagles a lot of credit, a lot of credit, because Jalen Hurts has improved his accuracy in the NFL. He's a much better passer in the NFL than he was at college. But the Eagles have basically surrounded him with plethora of weapons, an elite offensive line, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, who's probably a wide receiver one on most teams, Saquon Barkley, Dallas Goedert. Like, it's hard not to mess that up, to be fair, but it also, the offense is set up that it brings out the best of Jalen Hurts' strengths. So if the Saints are going to be interested in a Milroe, because I think he's going to go top 15, bro. Like you don't do what he did against LSU with all the hoes watching and just looking. Like he's done that consistently, dating back to last season too. some team's going to see the arm, but see the speed and be like, we can do something with this. But you got
Yeah,
it.
man.
This is why the head coaching search is so crucial for this team. It's crucial, bro.
What search?
Oh my God.
We ain't even searching right now, brother.
Can he earn it? Can Mickey go earn his paycheck? How you don't have a head coach and you was like, nah, we good. We not going. We don't need to talk to nobody right now. We don't need to interview nobody right now. We what?
Do that later, bro.
I will.
But look, man, like the QB thing is interesting because like I went back and looked at like a mock draft from like this time last year, from like end of October last year, just to see what people were thinking. And like Jaden Daniels wasn't even like a first round pick on the mock drafts this time last year, and it just shows you how quickly things change through the college season, through the drafting season, and all that stuff.
That's a great point because I remember the Patrick Mahomes draft. He was like sliding to go in the third round.
You know, it just shows you how things change. Remember Mac Jones? He was like a late first, second round pick in his draft, and he got moved. So it'd be interesting just to see how all these things start moving, how things start moving. We talked about the Senior Bowl, you know, who's going to be there, and you know what things change so quickly in the college season, and then once you start getting to the draft process and scouts start leaking out information to the media, and we start knowing, you know, what teams really think about certain guys and all that. So I mean, we'll see, bro. I probably give myself probably another 2 weeks before I really start cranking into some of these draft picks, so I could know what the hell I'm talking about. Especially, you know, I mean, if the Saints lose to the Browns, then it's like, okay, all right, we back on track, baby.
Because right now they're slotted to pick 7th overall in the draft. 7th, yeah. Right. Our dude Jake said Todd Monken for head coach. Man, Todd cooking, bro. Todd was cooking with the Bucks with Ryan Tannehill or Ryan Fitzpatrick. When it was Ryan
was, man.
Yeah, it was Todd Monken, right? I'm not tripping.
Yeah. Pretty sure it was. But yeah, I like Todd Monken. I saw somebody else breaking him down. It was like he'd be a good head coach. Give me, bro. Like I am all open, man. Give me a real head coaching search. A real.
He said Todd and Milroe might be a lot of fun. Just give me fun, bro. Give me fun. One thing. We'll go back to have our prediction for the Browns game in a little bit. I'm going to say this point. We're going to get to our sponsor, Underdog Sports, and then come back and wrap up. One thing that completely worries me, is Mickey Loomis, the GM of the Saints, already knows who he wants to hire as head coach. Already knows, bro.
That's why you got to go, man. That's why you got to go.
How do you already know who you want to hire when you haven't even done a head? That's why the biggest question to me of the offseason is who is making the pick of head coach and who's going to be making those picks in the draft room. Because if it's Mickey Loomis, I already know who the head coach going to be, even without any interviews being done, bro. I already know. And it's just like, how can you move like that as an organization, as a football team, if you want the best for your franchise? I know why. I know why. But anyway, let's get to our sponsor, Underdogs, and we will go back to the chat, wrap up the chat, and then give our prediction for Saints Browns.
Underdog is the best place to cash in on all your takes this football season. Which players are going off? Which ones are cold? Make your entries in just a few taps and turn your sport opinions into real money. Wide receiver hurt? Every dog deserves a second chance. And with Underdog Rescues, you can get your money back and receive a promo if any early injury causes your entry to lose.
I love Underdog Fantasy. Underdog is the best place to play champions. So sign up and deposit now using promo code BLOCKPARTY to get up to $1,000 in bonus cash instantly. Download the app today and use the code BLOCKPARTY to get up to $1,000 in bonus cash instantly. Again, Download the app today and use the code BLOCKPARTY to get up to $1,000 in bonus cash instantly. Will Derek Carr throw for over 75 yards, higher or lower? You decide using Underdog Fantasy.
Download the app today and use code BLOCKPARTY to get up to $1,000 in bonus cash instantly. That's code BLOCKPARTY to get up to $1,000 in bonus cash instantly. Higher or lower, you make the call on Underdog. Must be 18 years or older, 19 or older in Alabama, Nebraska, 19 or older in Colorado for some games, 21 or older in Massachusetts and Arizona, and present in state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Void in Colorado. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. Arizona, 1-800-NEXT-STEP. That's 1-800-639-8783 or text Next Step to 53342. In New York, call 24/7-HOPE-LINE at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY to 467-369.
We are back.
Took a peek at the Discord while I was, we was doing a break, and they posted that Mickey Loomis comment on WWL where he was like, "I bet fans didn't know who Market MVS was, but they sure do now." It's like, what?
No, he didn't. Ryan, he didn't say that, bro. No,
Of course we know who MVS is. Man, been in the league like 7-8 years, bro.
He's won 2 Super Bowls, you dumb motherfucker. What do you mean? We don't know who he is. Him and DA are the same person, bro. That's the exact same shit DA said after the Giants post-game presser. I'm not going to have any questions about my quarterback now. Get him out, Ryan. Get him out. Get him out. Oh, my God.
Oh, man. But like you said before the break, bro, like the fact that we know who Mickey Loomis wants his head coach to be, but the fact that he probably is still thinking like that after going through this with DA, the fact that he's like, look, okay, because usually, after a breakup, you want to go like complete opposite. Like
you want the new. You want the new.
Like, you just trying to just go the other way. He like, shit, I want to go back to the same bag. I want the same thing. Like, bruh. Like Reggie Bush. Reggie Bush went with that chick that looked just like Kim Kardashian. Damn, bro.
He really said fans didn't know who MBS was when the Saints were interested in signing MBS like 2 years ago?
Look, this is what he said. He said, I'm guessing that most of our fans didn't know who Marquez was before the game. They certainly do now. What are you talking about, Lewis? Bro, get this man out of here.
I'm gonna kill myself, bro.
Get this man out of my face.
Please, Ryan, please. What are we doing? This man may play in the Super Bowl. What are we doing? All right, bro. Okay. Anyway, I kept telling people, yes, we got to get DA out of here, but if you just go back and watch the Avengers, DA was Loki. Mickey is Thanos, bro. Mickey is Thanos. Bro. And until Gale gets that Infinity Gauntlet and snaps that man away, I can't trust anything that this team does. The only way I could see this team getting back to building something special is Mickey, if he's a part of the picking, he has to hire someone that has the gumption. One, has to be a good head coach, has to be a program builder, but also has the balls to tell Mickey, sit your ass down. You don't know what you're talking about. I got this. You hired me to be a head coach. Let me be the head coach. He got lucky when he hired Sean, and he was able to do that.
And he was desperate. He was very desperate too. Very desperate. And it's just funny thinking about the Avengers reference. Like, he sent Loki to New York. It was him. It's like that's Loomis, man.
Yeah, it is, bro. Anyway, Browns game. We got 34 concurrent viewers right now. Saints win. Do they keep it going?
Ooh, man, this is a hard game to really predict, bro.
It is.
Really hard game, but
it's a weird one.
But just going off, knowing Stefanski wants to run the ball, knowing that Jameis is going to throw it, and specifically knowing the Browns defense, I just see it being a very tough day for the Saints offense to get anything going. Really,
Jeremiah Osuaku,
yeah.
Joe, one of my draft
Joe.
Is he playing or is he hurt? I think he was on IR.
I don't know.
Yeah, he's on IR.
Oh, okay. He had 3 sacks on the season, I think, too.
Just a great player.
Mm-hmm.
So you,
I think the Saints drop an L on this one, man. I think it's an L. But look, the Browns are not very good, man. They're not very good. So the Saints can mess around and win this game. Like, it wouldn't shock me if they mess around and win this game. You know, it might not take much. But I'm going to predict an L. I'm going to predict an L. Saints lose 20-17 or something like that, you know.
I'm going to predict the Saints win. The Rizzi factor keeps it going. Saints win 23-20. Jay Sean had a question earlier that it was a good question. I didn't even, I'm sorry, Jay Sean. I saw it. I meant to get to it, and then it's gone. Sorry. One thing, Zoe in the chat says, is it true that as long as Lemon has been the GM, the Saints have only had 2 good drafts? Here's what you have to realize. Going back to 2006, and I'm pretty sure there's someone who knows this, but you would have to figure out from 2006 till now, who was the person in the building that had the final call when it came to the draft picks. A lot of times it was Sean Payton. And there are some times when Sean Payton, he would bang the table for a player, and then sometimes if he didn't have like a strong opinion, he would go with what the scouts were saying, which would be like, you know, early part in the Sean Payton era, it was like Ryan Pace. Then that transitioned to Jeff Ireland. When Sean left, so you're looking at particularly the 2023 draft, and I know this for sure, Mickey pretty much had the final say and drafted every player in the 2023 draft class. Every single one of them. I can't say that I don't know if that's the case for 2022. I don't know but for 2023, that much I know. It's the 2023 draft class rival. I can't even say 2020 no more because Zach Bond might be a goddamn All-Pro, Ryan.
Unbelievable.
Man just won NFC Player of the Week. Zach Bond. Our former Zach Bond, bro. The Zach Bond that used to be a punching line, but also like, can we see him play? Can we use him as a pass rusher? He's on the team. For years we screamed it. For years. And who knows? It just took Vic Fangio to be like, hey.
What blows me away, I foresaw him having like a career.
We all did. But not like this, bro. Like this is,
but not like and not as an off-ball linebacker though. I saw him like, okay, he was gonna be like a Riddick type player where they're gonna use him as like a specialty pass rusher or something like that. But for him to be an off-ball linebacker to playing the way he is doing,
and make All-Pro,
it's amazing to me, bro. It's amazing. It's amazing, man. It just goes to show you. Coaching. It goes back to self-scouting, coaching, bro. Like Bijan posted like in the Discord like a got away from Saints player defense. I was like, damn, that's a good ass defense, bro. You had Trey Hendrickson, C.D. Deuce, you know, you had Zach Bond on there.
Marcus Williams.
Marcus Williams. Like,
Rankins.
Like, damn, I'd kill for that defense in 2014, boy.
It's a fire ass defense, bro. We had them all, Ryan. Had them all.
Hendrickson about to be defensive player of the year, getting defensive player of the year talk, bro.
Wouldn't it be the wildest shit, bro, if Trigger Trey got defensive player of the year and Zach Bond was a first team All-Pro off-ball linebacker, bro?
And the cap nerds would be like, see,
if Saints can manage the cap, they can keep those type of players. Oh man.
Anyway, I'm going with the Saints win. Ryan's going with a loss. We will see what happens. Please do not watch these Saints alone. Come in those Zooms. The Zooms are everything.
Everything. I can't wait to see my people again, man.
Right? Jay Sean said at least Marcus Williams playing like ass. He is, but he wasn't playing like ass like his first 2.5, like a season and a half, 2 seasons in Baltimore.
Yeah.
Just facts. Jump in the Zooms. Become a Patreon. Become a YouTube member. Jump in the Zooms. It'll be fun. Don't watch these Saints alone. We will be back on Sunday recapping Saints-Browns as always. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. We'll see you guys on Sunday. And with that, we are out.
Peace.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million-plus products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.